So hold on, lots to talk about in this video. And in fact, there's so much has happened since I was recording those videos from Japan. Just a quick peek at this. So there's a lot to talk about here. I will get to this watch later. If you watched the last video, it was talking about, I was trying to talk about how doing this watch YouTube thing is just, it's not really sustainable because, you know, like you get watches and then you review them. And for me, I'm not like flipping these watches. I'm buying these watches myself. I love talking about Casio and I have a collection and I'm just trying to make videos about watches that I don't see or that I'm interested in and maybe it'll help other people. But I was just thinking like, maybe this is kind of played out. And again, I already knew going into it that a watch channel is pretty much doomed. It's not gonna last forever because eventually you'll get tired. You run out of space or it's not very sustainable. And then Casio sent me this. I didn't reach out to them. They contacted me through a third party and they were willing to send me the new automatic watch. Just taking it off for a little while. Don't worry, I'll put it back on my wrist, 6¼ inches. It's real. Yeah, hard to believe. And in fact, I had kind of lost track of this because I heard rumors about this watch, but I was just like, it's probably not gonna happen. But it's real. I will say this video is not a review of this watch. I will have a full review, like my other watch reviews, you know, more tailored towards someone with a small wrist. Again, 6¼ is mine. But so the review on this watch itself will be a different video. So if you just want that, then that's totally understandable. That's fine. But in the meantime, you can take a look at this watch as I wear it throughout this whole video. But I do want to talk about the getting of this watch, how I got it, and how this watch has really changed, and what I would say is reinvigorated my appreciation and love of Casio. So I think what had happened was when I went to Japan, there were so many watches. I was so overwhelmed, Nakano Broadway and you know, all the brands. And I think I'd reached a point where I was like, okay, I've got most of the watches that I want. And you know, Casio they weren't releasing a lot of stuff that was interesting to me. A lot of it just seemed like it was just watches that are recolored or just changing like small stuff, and it wasn't like anything new. And again, for someone with a small wrist, there's like nothing like pretty much that fits it. You know, it's usually the Casio, it's usually the big squares and you know the bigger watches. So if you have a big wrist, it's fine. But if you have a smaller wrist, there's not very exciting. And then I got back from Japan and I made those videos. And yeah, I think I was just like sort of like tailing out of like Casio. Again, I love the watches that I do have, and I have a whole bunch that I love. But I think in just the newness of whatever they're bringing, the excitement, it's just like, same old, same old. They're just got, you know, new colors, negative displays. I'm like, okay, forget it. And then they reached out and they were like, hey, you want to check out this watch? And I had no interest, to be honest, in this mechanical watch. I associate Casio with digital, with quartz, and so you know, the fact that they even tried this, I'm like, I don't understand. But you know, it was a nice offer, and I thought, you know, I'll talk to my wife, and I asked her, should I do this or what? She said, sure, why not? And so in the mail comes this box. And of course, it has edifice on it because, you know, they got to put edifice on everything, right? That's their thing, right? And it came in this box, and so I will have that review out after wearing this. I've been wearing it pretty much since I got it, so it's been a while, but I've been wearing it pretty much all the time because I do want to experience it. And I will say though, this has gotten me very excited again about Casio because they're trying something new. And when I first got the watch and I was just thinking about the watch. I mean, this is like, you're not even looking at the quality. I'm just thinking about the concept. of a mechanical watch, automatic, coming out of Casio, and it just seemed weird. You know, it just seemed against their nature, their vision, their character, what makes them so unique. It just seemed to me like very strange, because I look at my Casio collection and I have nothing that is even close to like this, you know, because this is the first one, right? This is their first attempt. For me, spec wise on the inside, I'm not like a spec monster. You know, I mean, it's nice to be able to see the back, but I'm not, you know, the movement, I'm like, it's fine. You know, I'm not gonna, whether it's, you know, an in-house movement or not, I don't really care. I just like Casio. I want to know, is it gonna fit my small 6¼ inch wrist? I want to know, you know, is it reliable? How does it feel? Like those are the things. How does it look? Like those are things that are important to me. The inside stuff, yeah, I mean, I you know, I want it to be accurate, but you know, I just less important to me. Just as a Casio aficionado fan, someone who really likes collecting Casio watches. But what this did do was it showed me, and it showed me. It was a message, not just, hey, we want to send you this watch. Which, by the way, side tangent here before we get into this. Side tangent. Them sending the watch will absolutely influence what I say about it. I'm not. I've gotten sent stuff before, not on this channel, but it does impact what you say as a content creator. As much as, you know, content creators may say, "Oh, I received this product, but they're not telling me what to say and do." That's true. They don't tell you what to say and do, but it does influence it. And so when I talk about this watch, I'm going to make sure that I disclose that. I'm going to make sure that I will try my best as much as I can to speak my mind in terms of getting a balanced review. I try to give pros and cons and really explain why, particularly when it comes to the cons, why I don't like a particular watch. Other people may like it, but I'm just saying, from someone with a small wrist, that's the perspective I'm trying to get, because I you know, it's a sub 40 watch, I think. The diameter, and so for someone with a smaller wrist, like 6.5 or less, you know, 6.5 to 6 maybe, you're thinking, oh, this might be it, you know, but it's not a cheap watch. But anyway, I just want to point out that it does impact and influence how you talk about something when you get it from the company, when you get something for free, and I admit that. But it is very flattering, you know, the fact that they would see the work that I'm doing and the videos that I'm making, and I'm not the biggest channel, but I just really like what Casio has done. I like a lot of their lineup. You know, I think Pro Treks are awesome. I wish I could test all the Pro Treks out, because although some of them are big, some of them are really great for a smaller-ish wrist, and I think in a lot of ways they're better than G-Shocks. I know. But wearability and just functionality, I like them. I will grab a Pro Trek way before I grab a G-Shock. When they worked on this, they didn't have to, but what it shows me is that they're going to try, right? It shows me that they're really looking to explore different things, and that they're not going to just do the same old, right? I mean, they do that where they reissue all these collabs, and I mean, how many G-Shock squares can you make, or, you know, it's a lot apparently. But they took a big risk on doing this, and I appreciate that as a Casio fan, as a watch fan, for a company to, it's not re-identify themselves, because I don't think that's what they're doing here. But they are stepping out into a space that they really had no experience in. And so this is the first. And I think, if anything, that's what makes this a special watch for people who enjoy Casios. At the end of the day, this is Casio on it. And that's what makes it so unique. You know, and as someone who appreciates and likes Casio watches, in a lot of ways, this watch has saved my interest in this brand, and that was only made possible because they sent it to me, because I would not have bought it myself. But the fact that, you know, they're trying something new, I like that. I don't know where this watch collection line is going. I mean, Edifice is a great, sub brand. I don't know if they're going to keep making automatics. This might just be a test. I assume they're going to try and keep making a little bit more. I really wish they'd make a diver though. I think they should have led with a dive watch, or this plus a dive watch, and just send out an option, because I think as a dress watch, it's kind of a tough sell. Anyway, that's for the review video. But I just appreciate what they're trying to do. And again, at the end of the day, it says Casio on it. This is not Seiko. This is not Orient. This is not any of the other big brands. Like Casio, they're stepping into a different type of game. They decided to go play in someone else's court, and you got to give it to them for at least trying that. You got to give it to them for risking a lot. And you know what? This model may fail, and that could be the end of it, and they just move on, and that's okay. But I do think it's important to recognize that they're trying something new, and at least I want to recognize that they're trying something new. And as someone who appreciates Casio, I appreciate that. But as you can see on a 6¼ inch wrist, not bad. I think fit-wise, it is nice. But anyway, just wanted to share that. A lot changes, and again, this was not pre-planned. The things that I really felt after Japan, you can hopefully sense in those videos that I made. And then here's this watch that appears really out of nowhere, and just very thankful for it. Thankful for them, sending it to me. I am looking forward to wearing it more, and then I will have my video at some point in time. But it's really reinvigorated my interest in Casio again. I had so many, video ideas, and I was just thinking, should I even do it anymore? Because I want to compare a lot of the watches that I have, not just one-off reviews, but to actually compare them and help people, right? Like, I have 3 Pro Treks that could fit a small wrist. Which one should you get? Like stuff like that, I want to talk about. And yeah, good job Casio for trying. And I think people who are really diehard Casio fans, whether it's a G-Shock, whether it's the vintage stuff, whether it's the Oceanus line, or whatever line you're following in, MRG, whatever. I think everyone can appreciate that they're at least trying something new. I know it may not affect their favorite line, because I don't know too many people who are Edifice fans, like exclusively Edifice fans. They make some good ones, but I don't know too many people who just like Edifice watches. Usually you dabble in like different sub brands, but I think we can all collectively be like, yeah, at least they're trying. And I think that's the most important thing to take away from this watch. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.